clean up my breakfast dishes and peel some potatoes for supper. It's a little early, but I'm gonna get it all done now anyway. Gotta watch some classic television while I'm doing it. Gotta take these days when you can get them. Especially this far into September in Saskatchewan. It's gonna be way too cold soon to do anything like this. Hey guys. This video is gonna be a little bit different than some of the other ones. And I know a lot of you are probably saying, yo, artfully directed. Those last shots were, I mean, come on bro, you are stepping up your game. And to you, I say, thank you for noticing. But that's not what I actually mean. What I mean is, this is going to be more serious. We're going to sit down right now, and we're going to have a one-on-one. We're going to talk about something that's very important, very real, and very much in the dark. What I'm talking about is sexual identity, gender identity, all that stuff that super confusing. It can be super complicated, and a lot of the time it's all just up in the air and we don't know what's going on. I personally am asexual, and so that will be the focus kind of this talk. I'll be talking about myself a lot. I'll be talking about the things I went through on my journey of self-discovery, and at the end I'm going to put some links to some blogs that helped me, there's about them that can help you figure stuff out. I'm going to put a link to a vlog. Her name is Amelia. She's British. She's also asexual, and she vlogs about it a lot more than I do. As you've seen, mine's a lot more of my day-to-day life rather than big stuff. I guess it's more, I focus on the little. But anyway, their links will be in the description below for you to check out after. My journey from where I was to where I am now was hard. It's not as hard as some people have it. I don't have a big sob story, or at least not that I'm going to get into right now, because it has nothing to do, very little to do with this. I might get into it, I don't. Anyway, so a lot of asexuals when they're coming to discover themselves, think they're broken. And it's because society has this huge emphasis on everything sexual. You watch an ad for candy, and it's sexual. You watch an ad for a car, and it's sexual. You watch anything, and the underlying factor is sexual. And so a lot of asexual people grow up and they see their friends going around, oh man, that person of a non-specific gender over there, she is fine. And aces, we don't feel that. We can look over at a person and think, that's a fine specimen of humanity. Wonder if they like tea or dragons. But anyway, we see all our friends going around, running around, trying to hook up with people, going around having sex and stuff, and we're not. And so for a lot of people, they feel broken because they don't know what's going on. They think that there's something wrong with them. They think they're defective because of our culture. That's what it really boils down to. For some it's religion, for some it's their family. So there's this feeling of brokenness that happens in a lot. Personally, when I was a teenager, I thought I was just this super awesome Christian because I didn't want to have sex with anybody. I was like, yeah, look at me being all pure and stuff. And then time went on, and I thought, alright, it's awesome. I'm being pure and stuff, but why aren't I being tempted by everything I'm supposed to be tempted by? I wish I could blame my feelings of brokenness all on the religion for keeping me secluded from this community. I wish I could say I was raised in a super strict religious home, but I wasn't. I wasn't raised in a religious home at all until I decided to be religious. I was never made to go to church, I was never made to read the Bible, I wasn't made to pray, I wasn't made to do any of that. It was my choice. I just want to make that abundantly clear that my parents did not force religion on me. I chose it. So, choosing to become a Christian, I went into a fundamental church. And, we're taught, those are the ones where we were taught that sex before marriage is wrong, and you have to wait for marriage. And there's even parts of the church that said kissing before marriage was wrong, or even holding hands. And I remember thinking that, man, look at that guy. Wait until he gets married to kiss his bride. That's cool. That's dedication. It's going straight for the goal. And you know what? All that stuff, abstinence, all that stuff, that's fine. That is. It's waiting for the right person. That can be the right thing to do. But one of the other things that we were taught, which isn't cool, which isn't good at all, was that people in the queer community were abominations. That they were sinners because of the lifestyle they chose. And the church always said that they chose to be like this. They chose not to be straight. They chose this. They chose this. They chose this. And so forth. And even when all the research started flooding out saying that, surprise, surprise, it wasn't a choice, but as Lady Gaga said, they were born this way. And the church still said, nope, it's a choice, and they are going straight to hell for that. And for a part of my life, a part that I'm not proud of at all, a part where I did some very stupid things. I thought that was true. I agreed with it. That's what I want to say. Part of me still thinks it's true. Part of me still thinks that I'm gonna go to hell for being who I am because of what I was taught when I was younger. But I don't agree with it anymore. I used to agree with it. I thought the people in the queer community deserved what they were getting, biblically speaking, because they chose to be that way, and they should have known better. And I'm telling you this because I want this to be honest. And this belief, this agreeance to a belief, sadly, is part of who I was a long time ago, but not as long as I'd wish. So for a long time, I didn't realize I'm not missing anything. I am perfect the way I am. I mean, I could stand to lose a few pounds, but that's nothing to do with my sexual identity or gender identity. Sexual orientation-wise, I'm perfect the way I am. And it took me a long time to find this place. Because as I said earlier, I thought I was just being super pure when I wasn't feeling sexual attraction to anyone, and it took some time to realize, to think that I was missing something. And so, when I did, I got really depressed and upset. I was even worried. I thought, what the hell's wrong with me? Am I being punished? Is this a reward? I was confused. I was messed up. And stuff on asexuality wasn't out there yet. It wasn't in the mainstream. It's still not really in the mainstream. But it wasn't even at the mouth of the stream yet. It was out there, down below the ground, maybe, bubbling up in a spring, slowly coming up to the surface. But there's nothing on it. I didn't hear anything about it. I didn't know what the hell was wrong with me. And I was scared. And from about the age 15 to 24, I didn't know who I was. I didn't know what I was. The only thought that was constantly playing in my head was, you're broken. You're a mistake. You're a fuck up. And that really put a weight on my shoulders that I can never get rid of. No matter what I did, no matter who I talked to, that weight was still here, pushing me down, crushing me. And I didn't know what it was. And then when I was 24, I was messing around on Tumblr. It's dark phase. Anyway, I was messing around on it, and I stumbled across these people posting about the asexual spectrum and the romantic spectrum and all this stuff. And my first thought, place of honesty, don't hate me. I kinda hate myself for this. My first thought was, man, they just have a name for everything. Losers? They have to have a name? I don't feel sexual attraction to anybody. Why do they need a name? Why do they get to know what they're called? Why do they get to know what they are? So, in hindsight, I feel like I was upset that other people got to know what they were and then come to accept that before I did. And so I scoffed at it for about a day. And then the next day, I looked it up again. And I read articles on it. I read articles on all the different parts of the spectrum, and then I read articles on the romantic spectrum. And I looked up people who identified as asexual. I looked at their lives. I looked at their accomplishments. Then I looked up normal people who weren't famous. And I saw all these people who were like me, that accepted themselves. I saw all these beautiful, wonderful people who knew exactly what they were and who they were, and they loved themselves. And I was amazed. I didn't know people who were like me could love themselves. I didn't know that people like me could accept who they are so passionately and fully. And so, as this realization crept up on me, I just sat in silence. My mind kind of went blank, and I was in shock. I was in shock, and for the first time in my life, okay, that was overly dramatic. For the first time in a long time, I began to reevaluate myself. I began to look at myself, and I began to see these things. So I went back, and I looked right at the default asexuality. And I looked at it, and number one thing, not feeling sexual attraction to anyone. And I just sat there and like, that's me. I read some other things that notes, you can see people as attractive aesthetically, not sexually. You can just look at them and say, they are a nice looking person. I want to get to know them. And I was like, that's me. And I began looking at all these other parts of my life. And looking at all these other things, and all the pieces just started falling in place. And the strangest thing started happening. All this weight that was on my shoulders slowly got lifted up. Slowly got taken away. Because I was beginning to accept myself. I wasn't quite loving myself yet. But I was beginning to accept myself. And as this acceptance of myself began to grow, I started getting more confident. I started becoming more self-assured. And I started trying to make connections within the asexual community. I started trying to meet people and talk to them. I didn't come out to my friends or family right away. But I didn't know how it would be taken. I grew up and still live in a small town in the prairies, which are not known for their acceptance of people who aren't straight and white. And so I was scared. I wasn't scared because I was ashamed of who I was, of who I am. I was genuinely scared of what people would think, and that they would shun me, and kick me out, get rid of me, fire me. all that great stuff. And so I didn't come out for a while. And I took these small baby steps. I told like 2 really close friends. And they were the only ones that knew for weeks. And I told a couple more people, and they were the only ones who knew for weeks. Until finally, I said to myself, you know what? You just need to tell people. And I came to this thought, this realization, because I didn't want people to go through what I did. I didn't want people to feel broken. I didn't want people to feel ashamed and all this stuff. My scarf is coming untied. The asexual community is a small community. It's not out in the mainstream, as I've said earlier. I didn't know about it. A lot of people didn't know about it. A lot of people still don't know about it. And so I thought, I'm not going to contribute to the invisibility of it. I'm going to be proactive, and I'm going to step out, and I'm going to put myself out there for other people to see. So that if they are feeling the same way I was, so that they know that they are not alone. Because I thought I was alone. And I didn't want people going through that. So, after I told like 4 or 5 people, I said, you know what, fuck it, Zach, you gotta do this, you gotta do the right thing. You have to go and put yourself out there so other people will know they're not alone and will feel safe. So I came out through social media, came out through my Twitter, my Instagram. I would have come out on Facebook, but I never used Facebook, to be honest. I probably should. I'd probably have more followers on my blog if I was posting links on my Facebook. But I came out on those. And so my friends that didn't know found out. And their reactions were positive on the friend side. They're like, hey man, it's awesome. You know what? You're awesome, man. I love you. That was so brave of you. You know, some of them had a few questions like, so, what does that mean? Which I was expecting. That was one of the main reasons I did it. Was because it was to bring awareness. And so I was good with that. It was on the family side where I got some of the more troubling reactions. I say troubling because it wasn't exactly bad. It wasn't horrible. There's a lack of understanding. And the questions that were asked were phrased poorly, and I was responding poorly to them. But it was confusing. I came up to my mom through a text message when I was at a friend's place because I wasn't at the point yet where I could just tell someone that to their face. And so I sent this text off. She sent a nice text back and kind of saying that it wasn't much of a surprise, and in short, it sounded supportive and a positive reaction. What upset me happened the next night. We were having a family dinner, and she just started firing these questions off, one after another. in this dispassionate voice, like she was interrogating me. Yeah, like, why do you think you're this way? You're not this way. You're not like that. I know what you are. Why do you think you're that? When you came out, did you talk to your friends about it first? What if people think... Aren't they worried that people will think that they're like you? That's the one that bothers me to this day still. Aren't your friends worried that people think they're like you? Like it was this negative thing. And to this day, that still hurts me. That still bothers me. And I think that her reaction was like this. Was because there isn't any information on asexuality in the mainstream. You don't see people on television saying, hey, I'm asexual. You don't see people on the CBS shows that middle-aged people watch going around saying, oh, sorry, don't want to have sex with you because I'm asexual. Instead, they have characters on shows that could be asexual, but treated as a joke, and their girlfriends have to change them and show them the light and stuff like that. And frankly, it's a little disgusting. It's insulting, and it's disgusting, and it's just wrong. But that's what I'm talking about. It was her reaction that really gave me pause. And I still haven't told most of my family, to be completely honest. I've told my aunt. And what I mean by I told my aunt is I sent her a link to an interview I did for Asexual Artists. Again, their information will be in the description below. I sent her a link to an interview I did with them for her to read. And her response was beautiful. And the kind of response I wanted from my mother. She told me that, first thing she said was, I love you, and I accept you for who you are, and I know that everyone in this family will accept you, and will be positive and supportive. And it was a beautiful message. I still have it somewhere on my phone. I'd read it out to you, but it's mine. So I discovered my asexuality when I was 24. So I haven't known that about myself for quite a year yet. But over the short time, I've learned so much about myself, and I've come to accept a lot more about myself than I ever did before. My confidence levels have gone, my self-confidence has gone up, my self-appreciation has gone up, and I'm starting to love myself again. I think that's really the main thing, is I'm starting to love myself again. And that was because I found the answers I was looking for. I found out that I wasn't broken. I found out that I was part of this beautiful community, full of beautiful, wonderful, vibrant people, all of whom are trying to raise awareness for asexuality. All of these people who are out there fighting the good fight, who are helping other people who think they're broken find out that they're not, that they are okay. And I just want any of you watching this who feel broken, who feel that they're missing something, that something's gone out of their lives, that there's pieces missing. You're whole, and you're beautiful, I love each and every single one of you, even the ones I don't know. Because we, as the human race, are this beautiful people who are capable of so much if we just accept ourselves and we accept each other. If any of you have any questions, comments, please do not hesitate to leave a comment here, tweet me, whatever. Talk to me. Get in contact with one of the people I've mentioned. Again, their information's below. You're not broken. I'm not broken. You're beautiful. I'm beautiful. And we're perfect. So I know it's been super heavy, super deep, and super serious. But I just wanted to do this. I wanted to share this information. I wanted to share this personal story about myself to you, my loyal viewers. And the next video is back to the normal day-to-day stuff. And you know what? I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you got something out of it. I think I did. I think I got something out of filming this. Please like and subscribe. Social media details are below. Check out all the places that I've tagged down there. Got the Asexuality Blog, fantastic place, tons of information. Got Fuck Yeah Asexual, which again, tons of information. Got my friend Amelia, who has her vlog where she has way better videos than I do dealing with asexuality. Go check that out. Check out Asexual Artists. They have tons of interviews on asexual people who write, who draw, who paint, who animate, who are musicians. It's a fantastic website. Tons of interviews with really amazing people that somehow I got included with. I still don't believe that sometimes. I don't know what I'm doing with those people. They're amazingly talented. So check them out and have yourselves a good time.